And we are now recording. Hi, my name is Nappy Coop. We are here with Nappy Strong and Nappy Soul of Nap Nations, and we are going to discuss today sexual abuse. I'm smiling, but this is a very serious subject matter. One of our candidates running for president has been accused by over 10 women of sexual assault. According to the Department of Justice, sexual assault is any type of sexual contact or behavior that occurs without the explicit consent of the recipient. As me and the Nappy crew were discussing this, I think we all have something to say about this or have some sort of personal experience that we can pull from and just explore this topic. So let's just go for it.
All right.
Who wants to share first?
Well, I think it's very interesting that the whole idea behind sexual abuse or what is considered consensual or non-consensual has been even a topic even before you remember the Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky days and how big of a that was. And for it, in my opinion, I think it's very interesting that, number one, that this is a part of the topic of debate. Like, when has that ever been okay? And even by society's, standards, when has that ever been okay for a presidential candidate who is supposed to represent our country, who's supposed to represent decorum, supposed to represent, peace missions? We're always running to the aid of everybody. And it's like, oh, yeah, he's a womanizer.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. You would think that, I guess we're kind of off topic a little bit, but you would think that the president should have some sort of presidential aura around him, and
you're right.
Not.
And no, he doesn't. I was watching debates from 1976. They had some presidential election debates, and just how they actually cared and they wanted to be represented in a different light than what our presidential election now. Like you said, it's a hoax. Is it a joke? Is it for ratings? Is it for comedy? Is it realistic? Are we going to have a person that's in the Oval Office that when we said like you said, you were a child and you went and sung for the president, would you want your kids to go sing for a president, have to worry about if you're going to grab them in a pussy?
No.
That was very real. Right.
Put a Tic Tac in your mouth and just kiss them because you can, because you're a star.
Yeah, just because, you can do that because you're a celebrity. They let you do what you want.
Right.
But,
that's right.
Again, the part that gets to me is how candidate has reacted to it. He is doing a very stereotypical male chauvinist, misogynist response of, number one, they're too ugly to assault. Me, they're all liars. Why did they wait so long? And these are all things that people and men do to sexual victims, which I think helps perpetuate them to not talk about it and not
right.
Because when you do, you're ashamed, you're humiliated, you're looked at like, why would he do that to you? You're nothing. You're disgusting. You're ugly. You're, all
you're fat. You're not a 10.
Right. You're fat. You're flat.
You can have anyone.
Yeah, it becomes. It's like it becomes a judgment call on the victim or the accuser. But I think it becomes, judgment. We look at the person who is doing the accusing and pretty much sizing them up like, oh, well, if this happened to you, you must have done something to deserve it.
What were you wearing? Were you drinking?
How much did you have to drink?
Right. It's kind of like,
know him. What did you expect to happen?
You were all over him. Weren't you smiling at him? You sent the wrong signal.
Right. It's like the situation of the college student. I believe it was the college student who sexually assaulted a woman that was passed out. I guess there was some kind of party, and he sexually assaulted. Right. And, I won't even get into the whole part about what that teen's father did to try to get him off for the crime that he committed. But the fact that the young woman was scrutinized for, what was she doing at the party? Well, she had too much to drink. You shouldn't have had too much to drink that you passed out. No one asked if she'd been roofied. No one asked if there was any kind of foul play. And I don't care if you were sitting there with nothing on, bucket naked, sitting on a park bench, passed out of your mind, that still does not give anybody the right to sexually assault you.
Because you can't give consent if you're passed out.
You cannot give consent.
Right.
That's just it. That's just it. And that's why we have statutory rape as well. Is, you know, if you're a certain age or you know, something like that, you are not old enough to give consent.
To give consent, right?
That decision. At least that's what the law says. You are not old enough to make that decision. And I don't know. I think we need to turn more from looking at the victims and looking more at the facts, the evidence. And I think we should just always start by believing them. Even if it's the craziest, fishiest, even if it's the, you know, weirdest story you ever heard, you have to start by thinking, okay, this woman is telling the truth. Because 9 times, I shouldn't say 9 times out of 10, I really don't have statistics on this, but to claim someone sexually abused you, sexually assaulted you, or hurt you, it's not an easy thing.
It's difficult.
It's not. And that's why a lot of people wait so long. That's the question. Why did you wait 10 years, 20 years, 5 years? There's some people that never tell when they
literally.
So, and it's
and we were talking about that before, and especially men, like they'll hold it in forever.
Right, because number one, they're looked at as gay. They're not manly.
Right.
Or on the flip side, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but in terms when it's a female that sexually assaulted a male, then they look at it like, oh, it's cool. I've been having sex since I was a kid, but no, baby, you were hurt. That wasn't cool.
Not cool at all. And I especially hear a lot of stories of younger boys and older women.
Right.
And I don't want to say or they feel like, I don't want to use this word because it's a horrible term, but like to break them in or to teach them about sexuality and think that that's okay, and it's not. It's abuse.
Because for again, patriarchal, you know, dominated, what have you, says, you know, be a man, buck up, interesting. Be a man, buck up, and like put a notch on your belt. Like it's supposed to be considered like a trophy, or like, oh, look at what you, my boy. You know, the whole joke about, it is just the opposite. It's like that whole joke. I can't count how many times I have seen on a sitcom or in a movie or something where it's the boy's birthday, and what does the dad or the grandfather or the uncle take him to do? Go see the stripper. What?
Out of all the things.
Out of all the things and all the experiences for someone to have, you want them to go.
Let's go on the guys.
Could you imagine our moms taking us to the strip club when we turned 21?
Girl.
No. I don't even know your mama, and I know she wouldn't do that.